Alright, I'm going to start off by singing a short excerpt from Britney Spears' song, Piece of Me. Yes. Nicole! I'm Mrs. Most Likely to Get on the TV for slipping on the streets when getting the groceries. Now for real, are you kidding me? No wonder there's panic in the industry. I mean, please, do you want a piece of me? Britney Spears has had a very good share of fame since she was a teenager. In this specific song I sang to you, she specifically talks about how invasive and frustrating paparazzi are when they're following her around. In the specific piece I sang to you, she talks about how they're even following her to the grocery store and that anything she does, maybe out of the ordinary, like tripping and falling, will probably end up in the tabloids. The rest of the song, she talks about how they even provoke her to get a reaction out of her so that they have something, when she's acting normal, that they can put into the tabloids or the magazines just to have a story. In another part of the song, they talk about how they even bother her when she has her kids with her. I think that is a big no-no. I know that most of us probably look at these tabloids and think, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening to this certain celebrity. More likely than not, these tabloids don't talk about true stories. I know we've probably seen the headlines, Kristen Stewart is cheating on Robert Pattinson with her director, or Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are going through almost on the verge of divorce. More likely than not, they are probably over-exaggerated stories. I know that when I read through some of these tabloids, I see sentences like, a source says this happened, or an insider tells us this happened. What I fail to see are footnotes that tell us who this source is or where it came from. There's not even a bibliography, which we are required to have, so why can't these people talking about other people's lives have this? So today, I'm going to advocate for stricter restrictions on the rights of paparazzi while pursuing celebrity photos. First, I'm going to define what paparazzi are. You probably all know what they are already, but I'm going to define it in more detail. Then I'm going to give an exception to my claim that paparazzi should not harass celebrities. And then I'm going to lastly state what should be done about the problem. According to the American Heritage Dictionary, paparazzi is plural for paparazzo, which is derived from an Italian word meaning buzzing insects. This isn't very far from what they actually do. They stalk celebrities day in and day out, and try to get anything just to make a story. They figure that the more personal they get, the more money they can make off of these pictures that they sell to the tabloids. Some people try to compare paparazzi to photojournalists, though. Andrew L. Mendelsohn, a journalism professor at the Temple University, states that some people think paparazzi can be thought of as investigative journalists attempting to uncover another truth about the celebrity, which requires moving beyond the conception of the paparazzi as a bastardization of the freedom of the press, to think of them as fitting within a normative model of journalism. I think this statement is false. They are not like photojournalists at all. The reason why it is traditional to call it a bastardization of the press is because it is not like photojournalism at all. Mendelsohn also states that photojournalists want to create visions of dignified objection, and paparazzi photography records the objection of the dignified, reducing them to objects of ridicule and mocking laughter. Journalists don't invade their subjects in order to get good photos. They try to capture their subjects in the essence of what they are doing. Paparazzi, on the other hand, will go as far as to get into the people's faces just to make a story, which sets them really far off from being compared to photojournalists at all. We all have a favorite celebrity. Personally, I adore Alan Rickman and Ian McKellen. I think they are fantastic, but does that give me a right to be able to know every single detail about their lives? I don't think so. I don't want my favorite celebrities to be harassed, and I don't want false rumors being spread about them that could damage their reputation. But celeb fame and fortune doesn't just talk about movie stars and singers. Also, government officials could have this sort of fame and fortune. They are popular, they are followed by paparazzi. So, am I advocating that we should also leave the government alone? In this part, I think that the government officials are the exception. We elect them into office so that we can have our policies carried out by this person that we are trusting. So I think that we need to know what they are doing in order for us to trust that we have made the right decision in who we have chosen. One instance of when it was good that the intention of a government official was revealed was for the Watergate scandal. This scandal, according to John and Wiley Sons Publishing Company, was the greatest presidential scandal in the United States. This was when during Nixon, who was the Republican president, during his campaign to be reelected as president, he had a committee of he had a support group who did actually break into Democratic headquarters in order to try to steal information from them that would make them seem not as good as they were and would probably debunk them and make the Republicans seem a lot stronger. They were caught trying to plant listening devices into the building, and after the court had ruled them all guilty, it was found out that Nixon did know about this scandal and that he was probably somewhat involved. They even found, when they tried to ask him for evidence, they found out that he had actually destroyed some tapes that he had recorded while he was having some meetings with his other Republican officials. So, as soon as the paparazzi learned about this, they told the public, and President Richard Nixon decided to resign his office, and he was also impeached. I think this was an instance where it was good that the paparazzi and the press did get involved and nosy about information, because we are electing these officials to make decisions for us and to trust them. So if they are hiding things from us and corrupting government, then that's not a good thing. So now you might ask, well, why not the government officials and celebrities instead? Well, celebrities don't influence us as much as government officials do. They're just going out making movies. We go see movies every so often, big deal. Government officials are making policies for us. They're sometimes writing new laws, bringing out new propositions and acts, all this kinds of stuff. Celebrities, not so much. So I think celebrities should be able to not have such an invasion of their personal space. But unfortunately, celebrities come through difficulties while trying to demand justice when they're being harassed by paparazzi. According to Keith Willis, author of the article Paparazzi Tabloids and the New Hollywood Press, celebrities who have tried to get to paparazzi in trouble for invading their privacy rights have lost their cases because courts have held that photos taken in public places do not violate individual privacy. One such case as this was the Gill versus Hearst Publishing Company. This was when a couple tried to sue a publishing company for publishing one of their photos of them in an ice cream shop without their consent. They tried to claim that it was a violation of the right of privacy, but unfortunately they lost the court ruling because the court ruled that they were in a public place. So it was not a violation of privacy because they had opened themselves up to the public gaze. But there are ways for them to get around the issue. Instead of trying to have a protection under the right of privacy, they can have protection they can plead for the right of publicity protection. Keith Willis also states that the right of publicity is the right of an individual to prevent others from using his or her name, likeness, photograph, or image for commercial purposes without first obtaining consent. Paparazzi probably don't obtain consent before they sell celebrity photos to the magazines and make money off of it. So they are violating this right of publicity protection that these celebrities should be having. So if they were to just advocate for the right of publicity protection, then they would probably win more of these court case rulings. But also, aside from that, there should be higher restrictions on paparazzi when they are invading these celebrity figures. The right of publicity protection only protects the celebrities from getting their pictures published. It doesn't keep the paparazzi from invading them on a daily basis. According to Jens Gold, author of the article Paparazzi Crackdown, actresses Jennifer Garner and Halle Berry were able to lobby California to pass legislation that will allow civil action and increase fines and jail time for the intentional harassment of the child or ward of any person because of that person's employment. This pretty much means that they advocated for the children of celebrities to be protected from this intentional harassment. The fines went from about $1,000 to $10,000, and jail time for this harassment went from 6 months to a year. But I think that this legislation should also apply to the adults instead of just the children, because they shouldn't have to be intentionally harassed as well. And as for us, I think that we can help out these celebrity figures by avoiding buying these tabloids. I'm not saying that you don't have to read them, they're kind of fun to read sometimes, but the paparazzi make their money when they sell these photos to the tabloids who buy them specifically for these interesting stories that they come out with. So if we are not buying the tabloids, how are they going to make their money to pay the paparazzi? Where's the motivation in that? So I hope that today, after my speech, you know a bit more of the struggle that celebrities are facing in the face of paparazzi cameras. Our favorite people are constantly being harassed by these falsified paparazzi and being told that, and being publicized in fake stories just for money. I hope that if there was legislation to be passed, that you guys would help out and support it in order to give paparazzi more privacy. And also that maybe you'd think twice about picking up that tabloid in the store. Thank you.
Sounds like 10 seconds in.
Okay.
It was really good though.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, George, what did you think?
Well, first of all, your attention device was awesome. I thought it definitely got everybody's attention. I thought you had a really clear organization of like what you were going to talk about and what you were trying to persuade us of. I also like that you showed both sides of the issue, not just like how it's negative, but also some instances where it was positive, and how it tied into where it is now. I like that you kept defining terms that people may or may not know, and different instances where they come into play. Some things that I thought you could have covered was, you talked about like how they were trying to, certain celebrities were trying to battle like the harassment and stuff, that they maybe give some examples of how they are harassed, like the extremes, because I know they go to like extremes to photograph these people. So maybe give examples of like how crazy it can get and how, like, why they're so upset. Other than that, I thought your delivery was great. I thought you did look at the note cards, but you looked up right away to deliver, so I thought that was really good. Yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everybody seems enthusiastic about the introduction, so that was good. The subject's pretty clear. I think that's fine. I think you do get a little caught up in the argument or the idea about whether or not it's journalism and whether or not there's a legitimate element of journalistic practice that's going on here. And I understand that you do want to distinguish between what you see as being illegitimate paparazzi behavior and photojournalism, that sort of thing. But I do think that it takes up a lot of your time, and in a couple of places it leads you down paths that are not particularly productive. for the whole discussion of Watergate was, you need to do a little bit more research to get it all right, and that's not what the purpose of your speech was. So getting it right doesn't even matter because it's not really what your speech is about. So I that would have been stuff that I would have left out because it just, it's got almost nothing to do with it. The photojournalism thing, for instance, I think is one of those things. At the beginning, you had this interesting idea, and I heard everybody respond very positively to it. In the tabloids, they have these unnamed sources or so on and so forth, and we're required to have footnotes. Why aren't they to do that? And I heard people respond, and I think that's an interesting idea. But what you're talking about isn't related to that, because the photographs are basically the equivalent of the footnote. That is my proof. It's not a rumor innuendo. It's not an unnamed person. Here's the photograph of Kristen Stewart's kissing the director of her movie. That's my proof. I don't need anything other than that. I've got a piece of factual data here that I'm reporting on. The question is that invasive or violative of somebody's rights or privacy? Is that something that's worthy? And I think you've got a good criticism at the end that says people are spending too much time worrying about those kinds of things. I got to cut it a little short because it was a long speech, 12 minutes and 8 seconds. So overtime by more than 20%.
Oh, poop.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.